So we've all had that feeling when you're trying to learn a new trick or film a trick and you're getting really close. The last few attempts have been really good, you've been landing on the board, you feel like you're going to roll away soon, but then you completely lose it. The next few attempts are just terrible, you're not getting anywhere near, and you feel like all of that progression is just wasted. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how this process is actually a good thing, but what you can also do to reduce how much it happens so you can learn faster and land more tricks. So about a year ago, I was battling this one trick, and after hours of going through the cycle of almost lands and bails, I was getting pretty frustrated, to be honest. I wanted to just completely give up. I didn't think I was going to be able to do the trick. I felt like all of the progression that I'd done in the last couple of hours was just completely wasted, and I just wanted to sack it off, to be honest. I wanted to go home. But then the next attempt that I went for, I actually stomped it and almost rolled away, and it was at this moment where something clicked inside of me, and there was a shift in the way that I felt about this whole process. So I realized these ups and downs and this flow between almost landing the trick and bailing the trick is just the nature of skating. So it's so common when you're going through a patch of bails or a period where you feel like you're losing the trick to just focus all of your attention onto what's going wrong, to put all of your energy into why you think the trick isn't going to work or why you're not going to be able to do it, and just completely forget about all of those attempts before where you actually got close to the trick. And this is exactly what I would do as well before I had this realization. The thing is though, this isn't only going to take you further away from landing the trick, but it's also a fundamentally flawed way of thinking. You see, learning tricks isn't just this perfect linear progression where every single attempt is just a little bit better than the last. Nah, mate. It's more like this crazy squiggly line that goes all over the place with near makes and lands mixed in with bails, shinners, scooter kids getting in your way, maybe an angry raccoon blocking the run-up. All right, so during this session, I was like, well, no time like the present. I'm going to try and implement a different way of thinking and approaching this whole situation. Because what's that quote? Einstein, I think he said, was like, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So if I was going to keep doing the same shit I did before, probably wasn't going to lead to me landing the trick. So I was like, all right, well, we'll implement some new shit. We'll see if we can apply the hypothesis, the theory to the session. So I started trying to relax more into the session, started to try and relax more into that wave of almost lands and bails, to stop overthinking each attempt so much. And if I did get frustrated or pissed off, I'd try and just like let go of it before I tried that next attempt. So this helped me with a couple of things. First off, it allowed me to just focus more in general throughout the whole session, which quickly led to me figuring out different bits of information about the trick and how to do it better. So when you repeatedly go through this wave of almost lands and bails, you're actually helping your brain learn and figure out the trick, because it's the difference between doing it right and doing it wrong, which actually gives your brain the essential information that it needs to figure out that trick. But only if you're actually focusing on what you're doing. So this is because focus is absolutely essential for learning. If you're rolling up and you're thinking about what's going to go wrong, about the bailed attempt you did last time, or about how you're so far away from landing the trick now than you were 5 attempts ago, then you're going to miss all of that essential information that you need to figure out the trick. Whereas on the other hand, if you're focusing on what you're actually doing and you're rolling up and you're paying attention to what's going on, then you're going to let your brain receive the information that it needs to figure out the trick. Maybe you'll figure out that you need to pop a little bit different, or turn your body a little bit different, or avoid a crack in the ground so you've got enough speed to do the trick. Who knows what you'll learn or when you'll learn it, but by focusing on all of these different things as opposed to what's going wrong, you'll massively increase your chances of actually getting the trick. So I'd already been battling this trick for a couple of days now, but by accepting this reality of skating and freeing up my mind to pay attention to what I was actually doing, I started to accumulate all these different bits of information that I needed about this trick. And after going through a bunch more of these cycles, I finally got the trick. So now how I feel about filming and learning tricks has completely changed. Instead of getting hung up and stuck on just like single bails or patches of bails, or even entire sessions of just like shitty attempts, I now try and see that this is just part of the bigger picture, and this wave of almost lands and bails is just an unavoidable part of skating, is always going to be there, especially if you're pushing yourself and trying to learn new tricks. Now of course it's still going to be stressful or frustrating if you've been getting close to the trick and then you go through a patch of bails where you completely lose it, but it's been really useful for me personally to realize that even if I'm going through a patch of bails, it doesn't mean that I'm actually losing the trick. It just means that I'm at a certain point of that wave of almost lands and bails, and I'm still going to be getting necessary information about how to do that trick, as long as I'm managing to stay focused on what I'm doing. Now, there's obviously only so much focus you can do in one day, and there are many different things that influence how you feel and skate in a given session. So if you want to learn more about how to learn tricks faster, how to focus better, and all of those other things that influence how you skate, then I'm going to be putting different video links up on the screen and down in the description below. So let us know down below if you can relate to this situation that I went over in this video, along with any methods that you personally use to help with this whole process. I'm sure other people will find it useful, so drop a comment down below. And I'm also going to end this video with a little quote that I stole from someone else and changed for skateboarding, and it is: you don't learn the trick the moment that you roll away, you learn it from the hundreds of attempts that came before. Boom.